When was the last time that you saw an ad that truly impacted your thinking? Not just an ad that followed you through the internet, that you began to see everywhere, but that really made you stop and made you think differently. That almost never happens anymore. Today, with AI, it's so easy to create content. Visuals, videos, text. What used to take a week now can be done in minutes. But that also means that your competitor can do the same. And this sounds like an advantage, maybe, but also it shows a hidden shift. AI doesn't or didn't just democratize competence, it commoditized it. If everything is easy to create, it's hard to stand out. And if everyone can create, it's no longer an advantage. So for me, the real question becomes, what actually makes people trust you when everything can be generated? Let me put this in practice. 3 years ago, I wrote my first book. Now, I'm more a speaker than an author, so I struggled a lot. I started in Dutch, then I switched to English, then I got stuck, then I changed the structure, and my coach said to me, "Joeri, why don't you just talk and let someone else write the text?" And so the book got published, and it did #1 on Amazon. Now, recently, I wrote another book, The Future CMO, and it also hit #1 on Amazon. 2 books. One book took 3 years, and the other book took 2 months. What was different? Well, AI was involved. Actually, I had interviewed more than 250 CMOs, senior marketers, personalities on my podcast. And I asked AI, can you find patterns across all that content? And so I wrote my new book in my own voice with my own stories, but following the structure that AI gave me. And it's made me think, if it's so easy to create content, what actually makes it meaningful? Even before the book got published, I reached out to Philip Kotler. If you work in marketing, if you studied marketing, you know that name. Philip Kotler, the father of modern marketing. The 4 P's, price, product, place, promotion. That's him. I had spoken with him on the same stage. He was on my podcast, and I sent him an email. And I asked him, can you write me an endorsement? And so he wrote back. And I opened the email. And I read it. And I read it again. And I read it again. He said, "Your book is the best update I have read on the role and the work of CMOs." Now, did AI create that endorsement? No. Did AI create a relationship? No. It was trust that made this happen. And I can tell you, before the book was even published, before people even read the book, my readers already trusted the book. So if you think about it, AI made it faster, but trust made it believable. And so there is a shift going on that when content becomes infinite, trust becomes the filter. When content becomes infinite, trust becomes scarce. So today is no longer about making a lot of content. It's about being credible. And still, a lot of marketing leaders are still optimizing for the wrong thing. They are still looking at more reach, more content, more channels. But the audience has already moved on. They are not asking who is creating the most content. They are asking, who should I believe? And so trust is so important. When you go to the store, you see it yourself. There are two products, similar ones. One is cheaper, the other one is more expensive. And still a lot of people choose the expensive product. Why? Well, trusted brands command 4 times more price premium than others. B2B companies indicate that trust is their most important growth engine. And the Edelman Trust Barometer measures trust every year because it's so important. It's moving markets. But I see still marketing leaders focusing on the wrong thing. They see trust as something that comes after the campaign, something that comes after the results. But the future CMO sees things differently. He sees trust as something that is not the output, but that is the input. So before any campaign is generated, is started, is created, trust should be designed first. You should protect trust as you protect your margin. You should measure trust as you measure your results. And this brings us to the future CMO. It's clear that marketing leaders are looking at impressions, at clicks, at reach, at engagement. But for me, it's not about that. It's about trust, about being believable. And so I call the future CMO the Chief Value Officer. It's not only about messaging. It's also about deciding how you want your brand to show up and to be trusted in a world where everything can be generated. It's no longer about building audiences, but it's also about building environments where trust compounds. And it's not only about using AI, but it is deciding what the machine can say in your name. Because this is a risk that nobody talks about. What if the AI says something wrong that is hurting your brand? Because you all know that AI can use your tone of voice, can use your words, it can sound like you, but if this happens, the trust is broken. And therefore, it's so important that the trust is built beforehand, so that when something goes wrong, your audience, your customers give you the benefit of the doubt. And so you're not just the voice of your brand, you are the signal in markets flooded with noise. And so this brings me to the end, because we were saying that it is important that it's not about creating, about showing up, it's about being believed. Today, AI is so strong and it will be stronger every day. Your content will become easier to create every day. So what will be making the difference? Trust. In the beginning of my talk, I said, when was the last time that you saw an ad that truly made an impact on you? It almost never happens. But a person you trust, that's a whole difference. So in a world where everything can be generated, trust cannot. And so the question is not, do we need to use AI, or how should we use AI? But the question is, what do you want to be trusted for when everything else can be generated?